It's the 2000 Sydney Paralympics, and the world had its eyes on Spain, hauling 107 medals in their most successful Paralympics ever. And especially for the intellectually disabled basketball team dominating Russia in the final game,
I don't know who that is.
Gold. But as soon as the celebrations began and the team's picture was splashed across newspapers throughout Madrid, people stared back in amazement, because these weren't the faces of intellectually disabled athletes, but rather professional basketball players cheating to win the Paralympics. If this sounds fucked up, it's because it is. And soon, one of the biggest cheating...
Hold on. So they looked at this, who did the what you call it? Who looked at these bad people and be like, oh yeah, they did a little challenge.
Scandals in sports history was about to break. Now, to some, the Paralympics is inspiration porn. To others, it's witnessing athletes overcome their disabilities. Or it's about what every other sport's about: winning. Let me be clear, the Paralympics is not a consolation prize. It's an elite-level competition with athletes who train for years just to qualify. And they have a disability. But there lies a question. If all Paralympic athletes have a disability, wouldn't the least impaired one...
Ain't no way. Bro, I can't even play ping pong by my goddamn self. Bro, playing with no fucking arms is crazy. I can't even play ping pong by myself with arms, my nigga. And he playing with his mouth. It's crazy.
Yeah. So to make the competition as fair as possible on an even playing field, all athletes are medically and performance tested to see if they can qualify together. So for example, an athlete with paraplegia is going to compete against someone with a double knee amputation. But then, what if an athlete held themselves back during testing on purpose? You know, like blowing lightly into a breathalyzer. Well, a few years back during the classification of a paraplegic hand biker, the doctors there discovered that his lower back muscles were twitching. And then, like a miracle from God, the man could all of a sudden walk. After he confessed that he had borrowed his friend's wheelchair the day before the event because he wanted to see how far he could go. And of course...
Nah, not bro, just trying to see how far he could go. It's crazy.
Kicked out. But what if you were to fake an intellectual disability? Well, for decades you couldn't. The Paralympics was strictly for athletes with a physical disability, and the Special Olympics was for athletes with an intellectual disability. Until this guy came around, Fernando Martín Vicente, head of the Spanish Paralympic program. Now, Fernando was instrumental in getting the intellectually disabled class added to the Sydney Paralympics for the sport of basketball. Now, this was a groundbreaking decision that had never been done. It always had been for decades. Intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities were completely separated. And hopefully Spain wouldn't f*** it all up. Now, Fernando's cushy job was very simple. More wins and gold medals meant more government funding for his Paralympic program. And while Spain was pretty dominant in most of the Paralympic sports, their new basketball ID team, I'm gonna be totally frank, they weren't too good. That year, they lost a string of minor championships throughout the world, and Fernando tried hiring new coaches, new training regimens, rotating the players, but it wasn't working. So feeling that he's exhausted every measure to improve the team before the Paralympics, he tells himself that just this once, he's gonna bend the rules a little bit. So in secret, finds among, friends of the coaches to include 4 players who did not meet the disability requirements.
I know this ain't them. Ain't no way this them. Like, ain't no way you would get... No way.
But would raise the competitive level of the team to win. So he puts the 4 players on the team, and they win the Brazil 98.
So nobody questioned, like, hey, is we show they a little special? No. Like, nobody ain't asked that question.
They then win the...
I've been there before.
Poland 99. And then he gets real ballsy and fills the entire team with non-disabled athletes. And of course, he wins the Iberian Cup in Portugal. And for a team that was now losing, they were now dominating left and right. But you may say, Vince, this isn't even the Paralympics yet. Why was Spain already cheating like this? Now, remember the funding that was for his program? Well, that money was also embezzled into his non-profit, the National Association of Special Needs Sports. Fernando had received millions and millions from the Spanish government that he had used to make himself a multi-millionaire. All through this little non-profit.
Oh, man. My man took all the funding and said, fuck them. Fuck them. It's crazy. He took all the funding and put it in his own pockets.
Now, with his humble beginnings as a school teacher and just 5 years of starting this non-profit, he owned 5 wineries, 3 estates, a sports club with a bull ring, a yacht. You see, more gold medals wasn't just funding for his team, but for himself. But like all criminals, Fernando convinced himself that he was doing this for a good cause because some of that government money would help out the disabled, even though he was taking a huge portion of it for himself, but that's besides the point. But even worse, Fernando now felt that he couldn't win at all without the cheating. He had become addicted to it. Now for the Spanish basketball ID team, a team of 12 players, he was going to take to the Paralympics 2 players that were actually intellectually disabled. The other 10 were gonna be the fakers, the guys that fluffed the game. So you gotta wonder, who the hell were the other 10? He had an engineer, he had an attorney, he had a writer, he had 2 college basketball point guards, and 5 semi-professional basketball players. And together, with the promise of a free trip to Australia and hundreds of thousands of dollars in sponsorship money, they were gonna rig the Paralympics. Now in Fernando's eyes, Spain was guaranteed that gold medal, until the plan started falling apart in the second quarter of the first game. You see, Spain was up more than 30 points against China. They were playing so hard, the coach had to call a timeout, sit down the team, middle of the game, and say, move it down a gear or they're gonna figure out you're not disabled. During the day, the team was winning, dominating, and at night, the team and the coaches would celebrate at Australia's hottest nightclubs.
I ain't gonna lie. They have to make bro, I was just gonna ask that, bro, because ain't no way I'm getting beat that bad. I'm a sore loser. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm a sore loser, bro. Ain't no way you gonna beat me 32-2 and I ain't calling cap nowhere. Ain't no way. I'm calling cap someone. Hey man, get these men a test or something, bro. No, bro. You know, bro. I used to play football back in the day. Part 1 of football, bro. Even parents, if the kid was too big, was like, hey man, come on now. He ain't as old as y'all. He older than everybody else, bro. If he too tall, bro. And you telling me ain't nobody checked him? Ain't like, but ain't no way. I bet I could too. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, 32-2 is crazy in the first quarter. Them boys were going crazy. Ain't no way. Oh, you know what I just thought about? Was people betting on that? Was people betting on them? I know people were betting on them. I ain't gonna lie. I know people was over there on the side behind the dugouts or something like, hey, I got 100 on the what you call it. You talk about 1v12 there? It's crazy. Nah, I don't even think I could 1v12. I don't know. Could I 1v12? Could I? I think I might be nah, I ain't gonna lie. My basketball skills right now ass as fuck. I ain't played basketball in some years now. I don't think I could 1v12 them boys. If they just all get around you, surround you, what you talking about? Fuck you. Man, I ain't played basketball in years. Like consistently, I ain't played basketball in years. I'm gonna be real with you. Now when I used to play like regular and all that, yeah, I used to be decent. I ain't gonna lie. I had a nice little jump shot on me and all that, but that's about it. I had a little bit of drip, some little handles. That's it. But I wasn't going crazy or nothing like that.
While they would
I
leave the
could shoot,
2
though. How
intellectually
about it?
disabled players
It's crazy.
alone in their hotel room all night. And when you really think about that, that's so f***ed up.
Wait,
In
what?
their hotel hottest nightclubs, while they would leave the 2 intellectually disabled players alone in their hotel room all night.
Bro, that make it even worse. Ain't no way. Ain't no, bro. You leave the 2 actual special people in the room all night. You say fuck them. It's crazy.
And when you really think about that, that's so
I'm saying that's fucked
It's
up.
the final match, Spain versus Russia. They have one shot, one opportunity to seize everything they've ever wanted. Now, while Spain had to hold back for other teams, Russia made them work damn hard breaking a sweat because Spain almost lost the game. But I said almost.
Nah. Imagine almost losing. It's crazy. Imagine that.
Because they beat Russia 87-63 and Spain starts popping bottles celebrating.
Bro, this the team. Which one of these? Okay, let's find the special ones. Let's find them. Let's find them. I ain't gonna lie. He giving a little special vibes right here. He might be it right here. He might be one of them. Yeah, yep. He giving all special vibes. You gotta see him too. Gotta find the next one. 15, 15. I don't know. He could just be weird looking right there. I ain't gonna lie. He could just be weird looking. But he could be it. It could be. Yeah, okay. What about 9? What you thinking? 15? That's a good one. That's a good one right there. What about 9 though? What about him right there? He looking a little he looking a little. Do he? I don't know what he said. Normal big man is crazy. But okay, so we going with him for sure. We got 100% on him. 10. Who the fuck is 10? But his head turned. Oh. That's that's 10. Oh, I thought that was 20. Nah, it ain't him. It got to be 13 or it's one of these two. The other one's one of these two. For sure. We go see if he tell us eventually. It's crazy.
They're signing sponsorships left and right, and they capture the moment on film for the world to see. But as the team flew back home to Spain, rumors began to swirl online because some of these players in their victory picture looked a bit.
I know that guy on the far left. He's an attorney. What the hell is he doing at the Felices? Hell, so you're right. It wasn't what on the left. You was right. Okay, you might be better than me at this. It's crazy.
Too familiar. Remember that writer that played on the team? Well, that was Carlos.
No, nah, I wasn't the special one. The one that was on the left. The big man you were talking about? Nah,
Florida,
he wasn't
an
special.
undercover journalist, and just 1 week after the win, he blows the whistle on the entire scam
Yeah, nah, I went special for sure.
of the Spanish Paralympic team, and the world is absolutely blown away.
The Spanish Federation did not hesitate to sign up athletes with any type of disability. Besides taking my blood pressure, there was no medical or mental testing, so corrupt doctors forged documents to prove we were mentally disabled. Spain simply wanted to win more medals. I played pickup basketball, and when a friend offered me the opportunity to play on Paralympic team, I took the opportunity to write an expose. Spain did not just use non-disabled athletes in basketball, but also track, table tennis.
Nah. So they was out here just cheating and everything is crazy. Them boys ain't getting out one fuck. I'm gonna be real.
Swimming.
Now, in Carlos's eyes, there was one person to blame for this entire thing: Fernando
It's
Martin
crazy.
Vicente. But definitely not himself, right? He was exposing the conspiracy by participating in it for over 2 years. He had nothing to do with it, right? Now, immediately, the IPC and the Spanish government would open up massive investigations into this entire scandal that wouldn't end for over 10 years.
Damn.
Now, Spain would be ordered to give all of its medals back, and for the 2 players that actually were intellectually disabled, man, I can't even imagine the pain those players must have felt. And now Russia would get the gold medals, right? You would think, they lost the second game. Well, see, the Paralympic Committee investigation found that every country had participated more or less in similar
Bro, everybody just cheating is crazy, bro. That's crazy. So everybody was cheating. That's why nobody called it out. It's crazy. I'm gonna be real with you.
frauds and cheating at the Paralympics. Let that one sink in
God
real
damn,
quick.
that's why they
Some
were calling
countries had
each
used
other out.
athletes with dyslexia, claiming they were intellectually disabled. Australia admitted 3 of its players weren't even disabled. And Russia, they couldn't even prove their players were disabled. So if you look today on the IPC website, it actually lists no one for the gold medal winner. Russia would never get the gold. They couldn't even prove their own players were disabled. So after having this class, intellectual disability, for 1 year, they decided to ban it for 9. Now, online, you read about this scandal. They always portray Carlos Ribagorda, the guy who went undercover, as a hero, the guy who revealed the dark truth. Snaps and claps for Carlos for cleaning up the Paralympics over here. But let's really think about what he did. He pretended to be disabled for 2 years to write 1 article. Yet, he never recorded any conversations, he never took any photos, documented absolutely nothing. Why didn't he come clean about this earlier? His choice to reveal this whole thing last minute has caused so many athletes to not get sponsorships, scholarships for 9 years. And what I think's revealing is that Carlos to this day has said nothing publicly about this story. Because why did Carlos choose to expose the team only after people started recognizing their picture in the newspaper? Well, here's my whole theory. Carlos was in on the whole scam. He was there to make money, he was there to cheat. But once that picture started getting people's attention, he realized, well, in order to save myself, I need to expose the team before the scam exposes me.
Nah,
One of the
he
great
fucked
unknowns
up. I ain't
still
gonna
to
lie,
this
he
day
fucked
is,
up for
why
that.
did any of these 10 players agree to do this? Only 1 player's ever said anything about this, and everyone else has shut up. Now, the team was allegedly told
Yeah, for the
that this was
bag.
legal and normal. They would be on the Paralympic team as collaborators, and that it was normal to mix teams of disabled and non-disabled players to balance the game, and that this would be more like social work, because all the money that was won would go right back to the disabled, even though it went right back in Fernando's pockets, but that's besides the
Yeah.
point. But like, how do these players
Nigga, they'll play it
justify
for the
this trip
bag,
to their
just like
family? Like,
anybody.
one of these guys was an attorney. Like, how do you justify to your firm, like, oh, I'm leaving for 2 weeks to go play in the Paralympics? And the thing I think is so dumb was they used their real names. Like, how stupid do you have to be? Well, they're Spanish, so that says a lot. Now, when the scandal broke, Fernando sat on the board of the IPC and so many of these nonprofits that focused on intellectual disabilities. And immediately after this thing broke out, he was forced to resign from all of them. Now, his case would take 13 years to finally go through and be charged with
ain't no
fraud.
way.
Now, the prosecutor was asking for 2 years in prison for the fraud, for the embezzlement, for the embarrassment of the Spanish people. I mean, this is like the one event you don't want to cheat in. Though Fernando had one comment to make about Carlos.
Carlos, who has been in the basketball team for 2 years, has played in the tournaments, won the Paralympics, but then 20 days later says that he is not disabled. If he was not retarded before, now he is. If someone does something like this, they are disabled.
Fernando's words, not mine. But on the
These boys wildin'. Bro just called him slow as fuck for doing that. It's crazy. That's your defense. That was brother defense is
day of the
crazy.
sentencing, he pulled up in his brand new BMW 7 Series, walked in the court, and he was given a €5,400 fine. And everyone else in this
I gotta go to Spain and go stealing or something, bro. I gotta be a scammer nowadays, bro. Scammers don't get hit with no real charges out here. Like, come on, bro. I might as well just be a scammer.
scandal was let off the hook,
Okay.
and it was a picture-perfect ending. Now, today, Fernando still lives life as the president of his nonprofit that still receives millions
He done paid people off. That's why he paid people off. You know that's what they do over there, bro. They keep
from
paying
the
people
Spanish
off.
government for intellectual disability. He owns all of his properties, he's traveling around the world, he's living the life. But I wonder if all of the people he's helping out really know about what he's done.
Yeah, bro, say fuck it.